Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Gervonta Davis is currently making the rounds to promote his fight with Lamont Roach. And he's had some interesting things to say over the last several days. And one thing that I do want to focus on, because so often people focus on the things that are negative, I want to focus on something that Gervonta Davis said that was positive. I think it's positive for us. I think it's positive for the sport. I think it's positive for the fans. He spoke on his level of interest in fighting Devin Haney. Now it's conditional. It's conditional, but we hadn't heard Tank talk about any interest in fighting Devin Haney in quite some time. Now, I've always felt that that boat had sailed, or at least over the last, let's call it 12 to 18 months, that boat had sailed because Devin had moved up to 140 pounds, went into the ring on fight night against Regis Prograis at 165, and probably is going to campaign at welterweight from here on out, or at least a catch weight around welterweight above 140 pounds. But Gervonta Davis is showing a level of interest. Now, for me, I think that opens up the opportunities for Tank. And we're going to do a video and talk about Tank's opportunities. But I've always thought that Shakur Stevenson was on deck for Gervonta Davis. I was reporting back in August that PBC, Team Gervonta Davis, whatever you want to call them, had reached out to Shakur Stevenson to try to make that fight. And Steven Espinosa is now on record stating that that is exactly what happened. So I fully expect Gervonta Davis to pursue a fight with Shakur Stevenson at some point in 2025 or 2026. But adding Devin, I hope so, but adding Devin to the list of opponents that he's willing to face, I think it creates, better options for Tank. So what did Tank say that Devin had to do in order to get a fight with Gervonta Davis? Because make no mistakes about it, he has to get a fight with Gervonta Davis. Essentially, Tank is saying he has to earn that fight.
Exactly.
He says he needs to look good. He needs to look good moving forward. He did not look good against Ryan Garcia. He felt that Ryan Garcia essentially did his thing, and Tank has mentioned on multiple occasions that he feels that Ryan Garcia just simply beat him. But in this particular case, he's now saying that, hey, if he looks good, not just if he beats Ryan Garcia, he doesn't even have to beat Ryan. As long as he looks good, the history between the two fighters would make for a big event. So I'm glad Tank said that, because I agree. I think the history of the two fighters, people would tune in for that fight regardless. If Devin looks good or not, people are going to tune in. So I'm glad he made that statement, saying that, hey, he got to prove himself. And I get that. But as long as he looks good and the fight is sellable, he's with it. Jay, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like that. He also said, he pretty much said the same thing with Ryan. He said Ryan had to look good as well, because they asked him if he would revisit a rematch with Ryan. He said Ryan got to look good as well. It's like they have to look good, because for Ryan to get a rematch, Tank already stopped him, made him quit, made him take a knee. So he has to look good to make it worth his while. Devin got dropped several times by Ryan. It didn't look good in that last fight. So Devin has to first take care of Ramirez, look good in that, and he has to take care of Ryan in a rematch for him to earn it, or at least good against Ryan. So I like the fact that he gave the caveat that he didn't have to necessarily win. He just has to look good, because it's going to make better sales for the fight. Because then you can't say, well, Tank's fighting a dude that just lost, or he hasn't been looking good. So I let you know, Tank want to see you fight you at your best. He don't want to fight you coming off a TKO loss and being moved up like a Joe Cardina or anything like that, or being a part-time electrician. He wants to fight you coming off one of your better wins and being pretty much as good as you can be at the time. So I appreciate that. The Devin fans, the Haney fans, going to come out. See, because they said before Tank was ducking him in some other interviews. They said Tank was ducking him. Now, like, Tank, look, he has to earn it, and that's fair. That's completely fair, that you have to earn it and look good in your fight to show that you're ready, at least, or a champion or anything like that. Now, the other side, now the ball's in Devin's court. What he's going to say, what his fans are going to say. is going to return with saying that, well, he's at 144, 147 now. Well, if he really wants to fight, they got to meet somewhere. 140 will be fine. You still can't rehydrate the 190 or anything like that to make it an even playing field. But, putting it out there, now it's in Devin's court. The Haney fans are going to come out there and say it's because he knows he can't make the weight at 140, anything like that. But it could be a catch weight. Like you said with Ryan, a catch weight with Ryan as well. Won't be 136. I can tell you that much. I think Tank's going to allow him to go like 140, 142 or something like that if they were to fight, which would be great.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are going to get upset with that, though. That's the Gervonta Davis hate. They want Tank to move up to welterweight and fight these guys, and a lot of guys come in at 170. Tank's a small guy. Tank actually, honestly, could probably still make 130.
Yeah, they said it. They said he could make 130 and kind of push himself to get to 126 possibly. But he's not a big guy, but 130, he could definitely make 130. He walks around close to his fighting weight anyway.
I've seen Tank in person, and although he looks like a monster in terms of like overall build for his height, I get why they call him a tank. He's small. He's a smaller guy. So, and I've never seen Devin in person. I've never seen Ryan Garcia in person or anything like that, but I have seen Tank in person. And yeah, he's a smaller guy. And if you want to make fights like that, dream fights like that, then guys are not going to go all the way up to that weight class and do that. Specifically, if you're the guy that brings all the money, right? That's the difference.
Exactly.
When you're the money guy, you're not going to make that concession because you don't have to. Because I know people will point to Terrence Crawford. Look at what Bud doing. Bud moving all the way to 160. Yeah, because that's going to be Bud's biggest and greatest payday. So, of course, he's going to do it. You think Canelo was going to make a concession on weight? Absolutely not, because he doesn't have to. He's the breadwinner, right? So I'm just happy that he's saying that he'll be willing to fight someone like Devin Haney. I hope he adds maybe a couple of other fighters to the list. And let's see Tank go out with a bang, fighting some of the best fighters in the sport in his last couple of years in the sport. And I think he's dead serious about that.
I do too. I'm just really scared as far as if he is serious about retirement, because he seems like he really wants to just better himself. He feels like he can't go to therapy or anything like that and fight at the same time because he feels like he's going to take the edge from his fighting ability, which is fair to some degree. You can't go through therapy. Some people can't go through therapy and can't know how to turn on and turn off. So he wants to get out of this and be a better person. I can't knock that, so I don't know if he'll be around next year, but if he is, I hope he gets these fights in.
I hope he does as well. You guys let us know what you think in the comments section. Is this good news in regards to Devin Haney, Tank's willingness to actually face Devin Haney in the ring moving forward? I felt like that ship had sailed. Obviously, it has not. As long as Devin Haney looks good in his next fight, Tank would entertain that fight. It looks like he is lining up maybe some big fights moving forward in the future. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, M Sports Media, and we are out.